Hey everybody, it's Tom from If This Car Could Talk. This week's feature car belongs to Gregg Rogers of Phoenix, Arizona. It's a sweet 1971 Datsun 240Z and has been a part of Gregg's life for nearly 50 years. These early Datsun Z cars are really coming on strong, and enthusiasts seem to love them for the many different things about them. I love them because of their classic design and pureness of purpose. I know you will too. I'll let Gregg give you all of the details on his half-century love affair with this beautiful lady from Japan. Now, let's go for a ride.
My name is Gregg Rogers. I'm owner of a 1971 Datsun 240Z. I have owned this vehicle for almost 47 years. I bought it when I was 16 years old. The vehicle, again, 1971 240Z. The Z came out in 1970. The 1970 to 71 are what we call Series 1s, or what Nissan called Series 1, and Datsun and Nissan came out with the Series 2. And again, that was still in 1971, and the 240Z was continued to be made until 1973. This particular color is called the number is 920 Gold, Safari Gold, and it was only available in the 1970 and 71 vehicles. Having owned this vehicle all these years, I've done a variety of things, not only change the color of the paint and then go back to the original, but I've done enhancements to the vehicle itself. I've upgraded the brake system. It came originally with a 4-speed, and now has a 5-speed in it. Complete rework of the engine itself. When these vehicles were stock, they were approximately 150 horsepower. This vehicle is closer to 190 to 195, which isn't a lot of horsepower compared to today's standards, but when you have a vehicle that's only 2,200 pounds, that makes quite a bit of difference. On the exterior of this car, I did a tribute to the Fairlady Z, specifically the 432 Nissan Zs that were made in Japan. Fairlady Zs is what they call them over there. This doesn't have that engine that came with that vehicle. However, I've upgraded and changed with headlight covers, the mirrors, bumpers, taillights, just to give it an appearance as a tribute to the Japanese cars. It's actually both driving and the look of it. I have been fortunate to meet and speak at great detail with the actual designer of the 240Z, Mr. Matsuo-san, who unfortunately just recently passed away. The vehicle itself, the look of it, to me always reminded me of, I believe, the best designed car ever, which is the Jaguar XKE Coupe. And it's a very low vehicle with a front end, so therefore the design aspect on so many different angles is just tremendous. It's amazing what Mr. Matsuo and his team did. The driving experience of the car is unbelievable. I mean, it used to be when I had the car in high school, it's on a straight line. Yes, I would get beat by Camaros and Mustangs and people with Hemis and all of that. But if we started getting into some curves, I'd leave them, because I had that balance of both power and handling that a lot of the American cars at that time in the early 70s didn't have as much of. And it's just a fun car to drive, whether it be on long trips or just sporting around. Again, I've been fortunate with that car. I've had it autocrossing. There was a period of time in my life where, not this particular car, but it was with a Z, with the Sports Car Club of America, and so I was doing some solo. At that time, they didn't call it solo; it was showroom stock, and so we did some racing out at Phoenix International Raceway. But yes, I love the balance of both the look of the car and now the way it handles. But it's a very popular right now, the design and look of the car. The Datsun 240Z, of course, was stock. Were a dual carburetor setup, HU carburetors, And when I redid the vehicle, because it is under classic car insurance, I could do some different things to it in the state of Arizona. So I actually exchanged out and changed the entire fuel system as far as a European fuel rail. And what that does is it takes off a lot of the emissions control. The car actually basically gets down to just fuel and power, and trying to run it obviously as clean as you can. I changed out the exhaust system, headers. Oh, it does have a 1970 E31 head, which raised the compression of the engine from 8.5 to 10 to 1. That also helps with performance of the car itself. The suspension was all tuned in Nismo racing sway bars, top and bottom, again for handling. The brakes again were upgraded all the way around. The wheels, I went to a larger size. So the car handles better than it ever did before. And when you replace it, and as a lot of people that have classic cars, every piece of rubber needs to be replaced, especially for vehicles that are out here in Arizona. So that has all been done. So it's never had a ground-up restoration, but it's definitely is. All the rubber was replaced on it when I repainted it about 10 years ago. Well, I always liked the look of either British cars or a lot of the racing cars from the 70s. They seem to have whether they be a rally car or a race car or something, that anything that had extra lights on the car, they always had covers on them, and they always seemed to be checkered. And so I looked and I looked and I looked on the internet. I could not find anything. So what I decided to do was finally order a pair of covers that are padded that will protect the lights, the driving lights. And I got contact paper that was checkered and basically cut out a pattern around that, put it on the front, and they've been working for 10 years at this point. Future plans for the car is to reinstall air conditioning so I can enjoy it in the summertime, and perhaps more trips over to California and around. The car itself is done as much as they can be done always. It's just keep it running, enjoy it. It's nice to go to different shows and show the car. It's the Japanese, especially the old school Japanese cars, are more popular now than ever before. I've always kidded that to my wife, that I've said to her that I want to be buried in the car, and she says, well, I can put you in a box and your ashes in the glove box or something like that, but continue to drive the car and enjoy it. But it's that's kind of what we're doing at this point. It's at the point to really pretty much enjoy it and obviously maintain it and keep it going.
That was a great story about an iconic car and how Gregg, who evolved from simply being the owner to now being an authority on these cars and also guardians of their history, so that future generations of enthusiasts understand and appreciate the 240Z's place in the heritage of Nissan Motors. Early imported cars, true purpose sports cars, and cars that started it all to bring Nissan to its current status as a world-class sports car builder, with their newest offering to be unveiled on September 15th of this year. You can see why these early Datsun Z cars are gaining traction as a collectible automobile. Even though their values have increased year to year, there are many fine examples available to buy that won't break the bank. However, rare and exquisitely preserved cars are bringing some big numbers, like high five-figure big numbers. If you've always wanted one of these beauties, now's the time to get one. They're a great investment and you can have a lot of fun with it. Clubs and repro parts support is excellent and getting better all the time. Please hit that thumbs up button if you like this video, and be sure to subscribe. It's free. We'll see you this coming Thursday when we present the history of this Asian automotive legend. Thanks for watching, and be careful out there.